You're listening to Silver Anniversary Movies. The podcast is celebrating their silver anniversary. So can you guess the movie that's celebrating their 25 years of release?
Today I'm going back to August the 25th, 1995. There's 6 movies that came out on this day. And this first one's at a 14% on Tomato Meter and 21% audience score. Richard Jacks is a research scientist trying to work his way up the ladder at a major perfume company when he inherits the notebooks of his great-grandfather, Dr. Henry Jekyll. Fascinated by Jekyll's ideas about the duality of man, Jack starts performing experiments to refine his potion that would isolate man's good and evil natures. However, Richard's version has a very different result than the old Jekyll formula. Instead of turning him into a snarling beast, the drug transforms him into Helen Hyde, a beautiful and powerfully sexy woman with a slight case of nymphomania. Jack fears that a good-looking woman willing to sleep with nearly anyone should have no trouble rising to a position of power within the company, so his alter ego, Helen, may be his ticket to a room at the top. But this plan may require a bit of explaining to Jack's girlfriend, Sarah. It is rated PG, it's a comedy horror, directed by David F. Price, and written by John Tim Burroughs, Oliver Butcher, William Davies, and William Osborne. It's 89 minutes long by Savoy Pictures. Some of the cast: Thea Feidel as Valerie, Harvey Feinstein as Yves, Stephen Tobolowsky as Oliver, Lysette Anthony as Sarah, Sean Young as Helen Hyde, and Tim Daly as Richard Jacks. And I couldn't find this movie streaming anywhere. And, oh, by the way, that was Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. Forgot about that, sorry. Alright, the next one, 20% on Tomato Meter, 41% on audience score. And this one is streaming, so wait till the end. In this children's adventure, a young boy heads for China with his father to spend his spring break on a wildlife preserve in China. There, his father and others are working to save the endangered pandas. Unfortunately, the preserve itself is endangered by budget cuts. To save it, the workers must prove that they are doing valuable work by showing the budget committee a live panda cub. Unfortunately, the only cub around has been trapped by poachers. Somehow, the workers manage to steal the cub away, but on their way back, Nick and his Chinese pal Ling end up separated from the grown-ups. With them is the adorable cub. Now they must find their way back and avoid the murderously angry poachers. Adventure and mayhem ensue until they meet the inevitably happy ending. The film was shot on location in the Sichuan province of China. It is rated PG. It is action adventure, kids and family. Directed by Christopher Kane. Written by Laurice Elowani, Stephen Aldridge, John Wilcox, and Jeff Rothberg. It's 93 minutes long by Warner's Home Video. Some of the cast: Zhu Jianzong as Po, Wang Fei as Chu, Fei Long Huang as Chu, Yi Ding II as Ling, Ryan Slater as Ryan, and Stephen Lang as Michael. And so the name of the movie is The Amazing Panda Adventure. It is streaming on HBO Max and Vudu Free. And you can also rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and DirecTV. The next one's at 39% on Tomato Meter, the 71% audience score. In a role originally intended for Meg Ryan, Patricia Arquette plays Dr. Laura Bowman in director John Borman's film of an American abroad in a strange country. It's 1988 and Laura is desperate to flee the United States and the memory of her husband and son's murders. Accompanied by her sister, Andy, she heads for Burma just as the peaceful protests against the country's military government take a more violent turn. Andy and the rest of their party flee in a hurry, but Laura is forced to stay behind when she loses her passport. A former professor offers her guidance to the border of Thailand, where they both hope to make their escape. Borman's scenes of action and violence are well staged, but Arquette is not big enough to carry the film, and her plight seems inconsequential next to that of the Burmese as the military begins its ruthless crackdown. It's rated R for depiction of violence, political oppression. It's an action-adventure drama, directed by John Borman, written by Alex Lasker and Bill Rubenstein. 99 minutes long by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Some of the cast: Adele Lutz as Aung San Suu Kyi, Victor Slezak as Mr. Scott, Yu Ang-ko as Yu Ang-ko, Spalding Gray as Jeremy Watt, Francis McDormand as Andy Bowman, and Patricia Arquette as Laura Bowman. Alright, the name of the movie is Beyond Rangoon, and you can rent it or buy it on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, and Vudu. Alright, the next one, 50% on Tomato Meter, 74% audience score. Animated adventure set in ancient Baghdad involves a princess and a cobbler who must retrieve 3 magic orbs to defeat a despot and his evil magician. It's rated G. It is an action-adventure, animation, comedy, kids and family, science fiction, and fantasy. Directed by Richard Williams, 72 minutes long by Miramax. Some of the voice cast: Jonathan Winters as the thief, Miramax version. Eric Bogosian as Fido the Vulture, Miramax version. Jennifer Beals as Princess Yum Yum, Miramax version. Donald Pleasance as Fido the Vulture, Matthew Broderick as Tack the Cobbler, Miramax version, and Vincent Price as Zigzag. Alright, the name of the movie is The Princess and the Cobbler, or known as The Thief and the Cobbler. And this one is not streaming anywhere that I can find. Alright, now we're on to 63% on Tomato Meter, 52% audience score. An ordinary private eye finds himself on a twisting, turning roller coaster ride to hell when he enters the nightmarish world of a powerful evil sorcerer masquerading as a sleight of hand magician and the murderous cultists that surround him. The shamus, Harry D'Amour, is based in New York, but all the trouble begins when he heads for Los Angeles to work on a case and finds himself involved with the worshippers who desire to reincarnate their evil master Nyx, who was killed by the sorcerer Philip Swan, a former student of Nyx. Swan makes his living as an illusionist whose tricks are anything but. Swan has Nyx's corpse in his possession, but he refuses to divulge its whereabouts to the other angry cultists who now conspire to kill him. Philip's wife, Dorothea, fears for her husband and has hired D'Amour to guard him. Before Harry can help Philip, the magician ends up impaled by his own magical swords during a performance. Now, Dorothea's life is endangered, and D'Amour must simultaneously protect her and solve the mystery of the apparently late Nyx. It is rated R for adult situations, language, and violence. It's a horror movie directed by Clive Barker, written by Clive Barker, 108 minutes long by MGM Home Entertainment. Some of the cast: Joel Sweeto as Valentin, Barry Dell Sherman as Butterfield, Daniel Von Bergen as Nyx, Famke Janssen as Dorothea, Kevin J. O'Connor as Swan, and Scat Bakula as Harry. Alright, the name of the movie is Lord of Illusions. It is streaming on Vudu Free and Pluto TV. Or you can rent or buy it on Redbox, Vudu, and AMC On Demand. Alright, the last one, 63% on tomato meter, 79% audience score. The mysterious guitar-toting El Mariachi walks the streets again to avenge the death of his beloved girlfriend in this bloody actioner. The tale opens in a seedy cantina where a flustered American bursts in and tells how he just saw a stranger come in and kill everyone in a neighboring bar. He then tells him that the stranger was looking for a man named Bucco and he is heading for their bar. Suddenly, El Mariachi appears looking for Bucco, who uses the bar as a front for his narcotic smuggling ring, and an enormous gunfight erupts. Still, Mariachi does not catch the elusive drug dealer, who must spend the rest of the film in hot pursuit while simultaneously dodging the bullets of Bucco's henchmen. It's rated R. It's an action-adventure, mystery suspense, directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Robert Rodriguez, 106 minutes long by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. Some of the cast: Carlos Gomez as Right Hand, Steve Buscemi as Buscemi, Cheech Marin as Bartender, Jacqueline de Almeida as Bucco, Salma Hayek as Carolina, and Antonio Banderas as El Mariachi. Alright, the name of the movie is Desperado, and it's streaming on Fubo, Tubi TV, and DirecTV. Or you can rent or buy it on Redbox, Amazon Video, Fandango Now, Vudu, Apple iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, Microsoft Store, and DirecTV. Alright, that's it for August the 25th, 1995. Have fun watching the movies. This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.